Welcome, welcome. My name's Mike or Carterell. I am Community Manager for CyberBrokers. And joining me, oh, no audio.
I did it, the number one don't. I'm Brianna. You might also know me as Lady Diamond Hand. You might have seen me in the CyberBrokers Discord. Welcome.
Very excited. Our first episode of Paradigm Live. And what are we going to talk about? What's Paradigm Live all about? It's basically every Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. UTC. We're going to come to you live. We're going to look at what happened last week.
Then we're going to also look about what's coming up, any big announcements. We're looking forward to having some guests coming. Yeah, we have some great ideas for that. And Q&A, as always.
Yeah, and I think this week, the front part of this is going to be a little heavy, given everything that happened this past week that we need to cover. But moving forward, we should be able to flip through that first part quickly, and then mostly guests and Q&A. So, before we go too far, let's talk about what CyberBrokers is briefly.
So CyberBrokers is a metaverse-native media and entertainment company, and we're working on building an entire universe through beautiful collectibles, engaging content, interactive experiences. So we're building a whole world over here at CyberBrokers.
Yep, and everyone's seeing it now with Mechs. It's becoming very clear. So for those who don't know about CyberBrokers, pop to our website, look on Twitter. More importantly, come in Discord, chat, people answer any questions you have, and then you can see our OpenSea there. Our first collection, CyberBrokers NFTs, minted in March of 2022, and we're coming up on Mech Assembly in February of this year. So let's talk about the format a little more. Oh, it's going slow. So what happened last week? So the first thing, we got an overview of what mechs are, right?
Yep, and we've been so excited. We've been working on mechs for a long, long time. So to get to see everyone's reactions to them and see all 50 styles that we've been working on, 50 unique styles. They each have 6 individual parts, plus an afterglow, which are 36 different colors. So Mike actually helped do the math on that stat. If you haven't seen it, I think it's like 17.5 billion possible combinations that we have. So
that's insane, and that's even without color choices, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you can build the most unique mech ever if you so choose, for sure.
Mech reveal or mech part reveal is live now, so we're going to get into how you do that. We had a live reveal party with some amazing guests, and the banter back and forth was awesome. That's on YouTube if you want to catch it out. And there was so much alpha. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe. Were you a little blown away, Brianna, about how much was released last week?
Yeah. Again, you never know when you get the guests flowing and Josie talking, and she let a lot of awesome stuff out, like the names, how you could disassemble, like again, all this stuff we've been working on literally like for 8 months. So it's again exciting that we get to tell you guys all this. Like we've been keeping these secrets for so long. And like moving forward, like we have lots of amazing stuff coming up, and we're gonna start actually leaking that stuff a little earlier. But yeah, awesome stuff.
Okay, so let's get into some of this so we can get to the Q&A. This is an overview of where we are. So we were in the collect phase, when you were doing quests and you were getting claimed parts. You can still grab those unrevealed parts on OpenSea, but where are we now?
So yeah, we've revealed everything. We're ready to go. So like Mike said, you can either just reveal parts you've already had. If you don't have parts, you can go buy them. And assembly is coming right around the corner. We're hard at work. We've been hard at work on assembly for a long time as well. So you'll start to see kind of some stuff coming out. We're going to show you how you can combine your mechs, like kind of what the experience is going to be with assembly, which we're really excited about. So this is like a great time to pop in. Like if you're looking to join CyberBrokers, like mechs are, I think, a really great point.
Now's the time.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think everyone's been asking, when's assembly? When's assembly? And it's like, there's a reason behind things, and there's a gap between reveal and assembly, because as people are noticing, they have all sorts of decisions to make. It's not as easy as reveal and assemble. It's, well, what style mech do I want? Do I want to combine parts? Do I, so there needed to be some time between reveal and assembly to allow everyone the opportunity to do that.
Yeah. And like our Discord has been blowing up with people trading and just like talking about their strategies. And it's been fun seeing like people going like for full styles, like people going for Franken mechs, like all this like stats. Like that's also something that we haven't, like all the parts have stats. So like, are you going to like build your mech for aesthetics? Is it going to be for stats? Is it going to be something in between? So yeah, the gap was purposely built in so you would have time to kind of strategize a bit, because we want to make sure that when you guys assemble your mechs, you're really excited about what you've built.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Okay, let's keep moving. Otherwise, we're never going to get to the Q&A. So 50 styles of mechs. There's a little bit different mix based upon the model. So 12 Enforcer, 11 Ravager, 10 Behemoth and Lupus, and 7 Nexus. And then there's rarity within each of those. All sorts of great discussions about how people are handling all that information, and certainly creating some interesting action on certain particular styles based upon that.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So go to the Mech Styles page. You can see them all live, and you can kind of pick out ones you like, and even think about mixing and matching them. Tell us more about mech part reveal and what we need to do.
Yes. So whether you have unrevealed parts that you got to claim, or you're looking to buy some unrevealed parts, you're going to need to reveal them into one of these beautiful 50 styles. So to do that, you're going to have to connect with your wallet that has your parts and head to pretty.cyberbrokers.com. And you'll get to meet Pretty, who's one of our cyber brokers. She's a looter, and she's our digital fence. And she is going to be the one who actually trades your unrevealed parts for your revealed parts. So it's a pretty fun experience on the website. It feels like very immersive, like you're in the alley with Pretty. You have to like dial her, like calm her on her bracer. So it's a fun experience. I think the art is really just stunning on the website as well. But you'll go to that site, you'll reveal your parts, and then you'll be able to kind of figure out exactly how you want to assemble those pieces.
So go to the blog. The blog basically has everything you need to know about reveal, all the details there. We're not going to cover all the individual details, but it's all there. And I think Pretty is a good example, I think, of how lore is changing a little bit too. So the lore in the past was chapters. Now lore is kind of moving more into experiences. So should we expect more of this type of interaction and engagement?
Yes. So lore and like the story of CyberBrokers is obviously, it's through everything that we do. Everything has like a purpose, but we're trying to kind of break it down into more digestible little bites. So not only will the stories that we're releasing be, again, kind of more standalone one-offs, but everything that we release, whether it's like this reveal experience, we can guarantee assembly experience, there is going to be a whole like kind of little tiny world built around it. I'm excited for you guys to see what we've done for assembly. I think you're going to kind of like the story and experience we've built for you there. So you can always expect, again, beautiful art throughout all the websites and some fun characters. and just an overall adds to the world of CyberBrokers.
That's awesome. I'm loving that new change. Just the flavor to a little bit of everything. Even the website itself, has the lore in it now. So very engaging. So this is what you're going to get after you reveal. You're going to get these part cards, and they have a specific style, one of the 50 styles. And it'll tell you the part type, body, armor, whatever. It's got the model at the bottom, and then it has stats. So stats are in 3 different categories: power, endurance, and speed. And they have a relative level of 1 to 5, indicated by stars. But we're not going to say too much more about stats until we get to assembly, but there's a little bit something more to that when you combine parts. So that's what you're getting. You're getting these cards that represent your parts. You basically need to, let's go one for, on the right-hand side here, you need to collect a certain configuration of parts. That always starts with the engine. So the engine you pick, that model will be the model mech you create. You need 2 more parts of that same model, and then you need to get all these parts, the engine, the body, the head, the leg, 2 arms, and 1 afterglow. For assembly, style really doesn't matter as much. That's all personal choice, right?
Yeah, so style, the only prerequisite is whatever model. So if we didn't explain models, we have 5 models in our mechs. They go from kind of least rare to most rare, or least powerful to most powerful. So we have Enforcer, Ravager, Behemoth, Lupus, and Nexus. So whatever engine model you have, you need 2 other parts that match that model. But other than that, the style doesn't matter at all. You can have 6 different style parts if that's what you want, as long as 2 of them are the same model as your engine. So if you're going just for pure stats and you don't care what your mech looks like, you could just throw the highest stat parts together and make mega powerful mech.
Yep.
But we have options to make all of your parts look seamless. We're gonna have color customization. Your afterglow kind of gives a cohesion to your mech. So even if you have mix and match parts, we've put a lot of thought into making sure they all look beautiful and great, and you can customize it, to the tiny little details like the color of the individual parts.
Yeah, so let's talk about some of that alpha. And I see the most common question, and we will answer it right here. Man with no name, very creative name. Is there a tentative date for assembly yet? Yes, February 2023 at the top of the slide. Question answered. So, once you get your mech, it'll be metaverse ready. So there'll be some experiences we'll launch with that we're not going to release yet. You'll get 3D rigged models plus specific files types. So multiple different file types of the 3D formats. You talked about changing part colors, so that was actually released, or the info was released 2 weeks ago. But some people might have missed that, so make sure you read that. Mm-hmm. Tell me about names. So
yes, so this was something that was released during the live reveal party, and the idea is that you will actually get to pick the name of your mech when you mint it. So how it works is our creative producer, Sam, has built a different naming formula for each of the 50 different styles of mechs. So depending on either the style that you have the most of, or the style of, I think the head is the first one that goes after majority parts, you will get a name formula, and it will pull from naming buckets. We have a naming bucket of 50 words, again, 1 for each of these 50 styles. So you can imagine how many words are in this sheet that we have. And it'll pull together 3 different options of names, and you can actually re-roll as many times as you want. So you can sit there for an hour and re-roll until you find a name that you like. But we put a lot of thought and energy into, again, these mech formulas and these mech names. And every name is going to be completely unique. So when you select that name, no one else will be able to mint with that name, which is also really special. So you'll get to pick it. It'll be your name. And I think there'll be some really, I think funny names, some quirky names, some really epic names, depending on the vibe you're going for your mech. I think you'll be able to find a name that you like for sure.
Cool. I see a question here about part color that we should probably quickly answer. So what parts change color? Are there any overlays we can see? There's a tweet. If you go to the CyberBrokers Twitter account and you look for an image with 3 Mr. Griffs in it, it will explain this. But basically each part you have, head, arms, body, leg, you can change the standard base color of the part. There'll be some accent parts you can't change, but is there a better way to describe what part which piece of it you can change?
So when we were constructing these mechs, Josie and our creative producer, they sat down and actually picked the exact parts that you can change on each part. So yeah, on each part, there'll be a specific area of it. We're calling it, I think it's the base color. And you can leave it as the base color, which is what it looks like as it is on your revealed card. Or you'll have a color picker and you can change it. So yeah, if you want to make an entire matte black action bot, there should be certain parts that you can change to be black. Or you can do, again, one arm can be one color, one can be another. Again, you can kind of go as cohesive or crazy as you want.
Crazy as you want, yeah.
All up to you.
So it's really cool because I see kind of people. One strategy is creating sets right now. The same part. Put them all together. It looks exactly the same. Mm-hmm. The changing color is going to up that because now you can, even though a whole bunch of people will have that particular style, they can still change the colors and customize it for themselves.
Exactly. Yeah. So there could be, a bunch of mechs or wolf mech. And it's, I think, pink, I believe, in the OpenSea listing, but you could, depending on your Afterglow one, but also the colors that you choose, they could all look completely different, and obviously all have completely different names, which is really cool. So even if you have the exact same parts as someone, the name will be different, the colors could be different. So you can match exactly what we have displayed on OpenSea if that's what you like, but you can personalize it as well, which is
as much as you want. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna quickly, Lolo, stats change during assembly. Well, let's state it this way: stats combine during assembly. What combination means will be released later. Is that a fair way to put it, Brianna?
Yeah. So the stars on your revealed cards, those are just relative indicators. So if they kind of almost the minimum, I think of them. And then when they all combine together, we'll have much more detailed, I guess, stats to show you about what to expect. But again, it's all going to depend on how you combine the parts as well. So it's hard for us to kind of say right now because you haven't assembled your mech and minted it.
Yeah.
But
I think it's probably safe to say you saw what reveal was like. So trust us, you'll enjoy this part too. Mm-hmm. That's simple, right? Okay, we knew this slide was going to be the big slide, so let's keep moving through this. So there will be utility for mechs in mission beta, so you'll be able to use your mech, and there will be stuff you can get by using your mech. Mechs require an operator, so clearly a CyberBroker is one of the operators, and maybe the best operator to use right now for mission beta, but there will be others. TBD, listen in later. And then I think the other big thing that was released was the idea that you can unassemble, break up your mech later, change some things, and then reassemble it. Now, we're not going to get into total details of that, but just That's the concept. So it's not fixed anymore. And that's huge, right?
Yeah. So if you know, pick up, say like you've been waiting for like your grail, like, you know, body or something, and you couldn't get it before assembly, down the line, there's a chance you can, you know, like trade for that or get a great price on OpenSea and you can plop that in there, which is awesome. So you're not tied to the exact mech that you mint in February.
Awesome. Oh, there we go. Looks like we lost chat for a minute. The other key thing I think for me for that announcement of alpha is someone could buy a mech later. You know, let's say 6 months down the road. You know, never knew anything about CyberBrokers, and they can still go back and have some of the same experience we're having now.
Yeah, and it's cool too because I mean, I'm just imagining, like, I'm seeing how strategic people are getting with the mech parts trading now, but like imagine, yeah, like you see a mech come up and you're like, oh, that has like 2 parts I want, 3 parts I want. Then you disassemble it and then you can trade those parts or add it to your mech. Like it adds like a whole other like level to this, you know, this back and forth, this like kind of like mechanomics kind of situation.
Economics.
Yeah, mechanomics. So
Well, and it's also the colors too. You know, is that someone could buy a mech and do something as simple as, well, I don't particularly identify with that name, or I want to change this part color. Something as simple as that. They don't even need to change the parts.
yeah, and I think it's will be cool to see, like, again, when you're building your mech, you're not tied to it, and that means too when you buy a mech in the future, you don't have to absolutely love that full mech, which I think is really big and why we decided to include that in the process. Because you can use the mech for parts. You're not, you know, you don't have to just buy a mech on secondary and be like, this is my forever mech. You can use it as you see fit, which is really fun.
Which will allow people to assemble, I think, a lot earlier than maybe they were anticipating. Because you know, if you only got to assemble it once, you could never change it. You might sit and wait for a while to make sure you got it exactly right. Now you don't have to worry about that. Assemble it and let's try it out.
Yeah, I'm really excited on assembly day to kind of see the combinations that people come up with. Like, I think it's going to be really, really fun. Like, it's been so exciting to see people kind of build their mechs and like trade, but seeing the final product, like, I'm so excited for that with the names and everything. It's going to be really, really fun to see.
It's going to be just like mint day for CyberBrokers, right?
Yep, exactly. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun day.
Okay, we're doing good. We're 25 minutes in, and we're actually almost close to finishing the slides. So I'll take the left side. So, you know, there's kind of 3 ways to get into mechs right now. The first is, you know, if you want to play the game a little bit and you want to grab some unrevealed parts and go to Pretty Site and get random revealed parts, that's the game part, you can do that. And then, you know, from there you need to gather the right parts and assemble. If you want to do a little bit less, you just want to say, okay, I want to gather the exact styles I want now, you know, you can go find revealed mech parts, get the exact right configuration, and assemble in February. But there's a third option.
Yep, and that's just, you can buy an assembled mech in February. And like we said, because in the future you will be able to disassemble these. Again, it doesn't have to be your forever mech, or if the stats aren't what you want to amp those up down the line, you can amp it up. You'll be able to change the colors eventually. Or even if, you know, you've been waiting for some parts and you haven't been able to come across them, but you see a mech that might have those parts you need, that's also an option. So we have, you know, a lot of different ways that you could get into mechs right now, which I think is fun. So depending on your strategy, you have options.
And the last part, I'll keep emphasizing this, you know, a lot of times when people come to a project and they're like 6 months later, a year later, they feel like they can't catch up because, you know, so much has happened and they can't get, you know, what the people originally got. This whole idea of buy the mech, disassemble it, reassemble it, lets them pop right in and get going immediately.
Yeah, and that's been like something that we've been focusing on a lot, is making sure you can kind of jump into our ecosystem at any time and, feel involved, like, become a part of our community. If you like ever hop in our Discord, like, I know we're probably biased, but I think everyone in our Discord is actually really friendly and like approachable, and they'll answer your questions and like just chat with you. Like, we have a really great community. Hop into the Discord, ask questions, kind of get people's opinions on kind of strategies. If you're looking to buy a mech, people give you their honest advice, and, kind of start picking up your parts, or figure out if you want to wait till February, or, reveal some stuff. I think it's a great time to join. There's a lot of excitement. We've got lots of big things coming up. So It's a good time to get in.
Okay, let's turn our attention from mechs for a moment. We've got a couple of other announcements. So the other alpha was a trade feature will be coming. We don't have a specific release date of that, but we know you want it, so it's on its way. NFT Paris. I think this has been in the background a little bit because mechs have been overshadowing it. But we are going to NFT Paris. It's February 24th, 25th. We will have an activation there. If you haven't seen it, there is a special offer for ticket prices for CyberBroker owners of 50 euros, which is amazing because it's, I think, 299 euros normally or something like that.
Yeah, it's like an insane deal.
Yeah. I believe last count I saw almost 70 tickets bought under that deal. So there's going to be a lot of holders there. Josie will be there, guaranteed. So if you haven't thought about it, go buy that ticket and make arrangements. We will be having some type of holder meetup on Friday night, and then some light networking Saturday afternoon. So that way you can make your plans. More details on the meetup coming soon. And any other announcements? I feel like we focused all on mechs.
I mean, we're kind of in this in-between between reveal and assembly. So keep your eyes peeled, because there's going to be a lot coming out probably in the next few weeks as we gear up for assembly. But Paris will be fun. We have some really awesome stuff for you there. And like Mike said, Josie is going to be there in our activation, and you'll be able to meet with her, which is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's switch to what's coming up this week. So obviously people can continue revealing mechs. We've got an exciting new part of lore. Do you want to talk about Wardrobe Wednesdays?
Yes. So if anyone has seen on our Twitter, if not, you can scroll down. We are starting to release these awesome AR filters on Instagram, and they're actually pieces of clothing and items from our CyberBrokers collection. And how basically we were deciding which items to turn into filters is we're letting the community decide for us. So we're going to have a poll where you'll be able to vote on which one you want to see next. Then on Wednesday, we're going to have these Wardrobe Wednesday events. So they're with Fab, our fashion archive boutique. It's in our lore channel on Discord. And basically, Fab, you'll be working with Fab to kind of write the backstory for these items. So if you're into like world building or lore, or just want to like chat with other like CyberBrokers holders, the Wardrobe Wednesday is like a great time. It's like super casual. Like you'll just type back and forth in Discord. There's no talking. You're basically kind of crafting the backstory behind these items. We're like really excited that the community gets to help kind of write this history for the paradigm. And then on Friday, we're going to release that filter with the backstory that our community has written. You'll get to use it on Instagram and or Snapchat, depending. So our last poll was actually the one that won was the astronomer's helmet. If you haven't seen it, it's like this really
Can't wait to see that. Yeah.
It's really cool. Ben, who works for us, who's been working on those filters, just sent it over. So we're excited to show you guys that one. But yeah, stay tuned for Wardrobe Wednesdays, where you can kind of, again, craft the backstory behind this astronomer's helmet, and then you'll get to use the filter. So we're excited.
And we should clarify Ben AI.
Ben AI. We have like
like 3 Bens on the team. Yeah.
Everyone on the CyberBrokers team, like so many of us start with the letter B. So we have Ben AI, we call him, and he does a lot of our awesome like AR filters and like cool stuff that you're going to start seeing come out. He does awesome work. We're really excited about it.
Cool. The other thing this week, Wednesday, is game night. It's a fun way, just like a whole bunch of people are like in doing their trades and stuff and getting to know each other that way. Game night is a great way to get to know people too. It's, throw Twitter and, crypto away for a moment, have some fun playing some games. We typically play Among Us, which is a fun chase people game. And watch out for Merc, of course. And then we also play Gartic, which is kind of a fun picture guessing game, and we'll be adding more and arranging those. But Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern for that as well. I think that brings us to the section I wanted to show. Not that one first. So these are our 50 mech styles. Okay, it's at the website. Just go find mech styles. Okay, you can also find Pretty Shop right up here. Easy way to find that as well. Make sure you look at the rest of what's going on. I wanted to take you. Well, you know what? Let's do this one first. So yes. This is the explain what's going on here.
So we have a showdown. We're going to go through all of our models of mechs. And we're kind of seeing like which ones are going to come out on top, like which are people's favorites. So today we released Enforcer. So if you find this tweet, you can comment what your favorite style is. We're going to tally kind of the results and see which style comes out on top. So we're going to do this for all of the different styles and kind of put them together. So they're all awesome and unique in their own ways, but it's been fun seeing like which styles like the community gravitates to, or like styles have like almost like a personality now because of what the community is like making of them. It's been really fun. So
okay, so do you have any favorites in here?
I love Nico-chan, which is like, I'm late on my trading game. I'm hopping in the trade channel today to, wrap it up. But my dream is I want a Nico-chan, but I want one of her arms to be the major gunner arm, which is this like giant, big, bulky arm. So I kind of want a hybrid. I know there's like a Nico-chan cult going on right now, led by one of our mods, Merc. There's like a he's
trying to corner the market on Nikos. He's a Nico Maxi. Is that the proper way to say it?
Nico Maxi, yeah, exactly. So I know I got to get in there and start trading. But what about you, Mike?
I gravitate out of all these. I like the Liquidator, and then the Sentinel, and I can say I have accomplished both, so I'm feeling
awesome.
I'm feeling comfortable about the Enforcers. Like you said, they're all great, and it was so hard just picking, 2. I'm sure I'll probably assemble more with like leftover pieces eventually.
Yeah.
But those were the first 2 of Enforcers.
Yeah.
The Sentinel, I just love the look of the holograms on the sides. It's just such a cool look, and I can't wait to see in 3D what that looks like popping.
Yeah. And I love the Liquidator descriptions too. If you we went with kind of like leet speak, kind of like troll gamer vibe. Astra Machina. Her helmet, I love. It has the little hologram kind of thing on her helmet. She's like also like a really, really cool one. I like her legs a lot as well. Like it's hard because I'm like, oh, I like this head, these legs, which is
Yeah.
fun because I get to combine them. But I'm like, my brain is like going a million miles trying to figure out which way I want to go.
Well, I think right now again we're talking about single styles, but I think especially at the enforcer level, given they'll be the lowest entry point, that's the place to kind of start playing. So I've been thinking about that same thing. Which parts of these could I pull together to create a cool style out of?
And like it's been funny because like we release a lot of the enforcers ahead of time, and everyone kept on being like, "What level is this?" And we were like, "Enforcer," and like everyone was like, "No way!" Like people were blown away, and I think it just goes to show like how dedicated we are to like the art here. Like Josie was like very adamant like that. She was like, no matter what style you pull, like you should be like, this is a cool like art piece, and like I think we've accomplished it. Like when I revealed, like I wasn't disappointed with any of the parts I got. Like it might not have been like my first choice, but like
Yeah.
you can work with all these parts because like on their own, they're all really, really cool. Like even the base level enforcer.
And I look forward to hearing more of the backstories because I'll be in Discord and people will start talking about, oh, is that related to this or this, and I have to like go Google. I'm like, oh wow, is there a connection there? And there certainly are for some, but we'll have to get Josie to talk more about the backstories to some of these.
Yeah, these have been a long time in the making. I should ask Josie, we should go through like way like when I first joined CyberBrokers, like we were brainstorming ideas and there were some that like got completely axed. It would also be kind of fun to talk about the ones
The
that
cutting room floor, yeah.
exactly, because we were just like Josie was just like throw out your craziest ideas. So like there were some that didn't get made. Like it would be fun to talk about those as well.
Absolutely. Okay, let's talk about two community tools to make sure everyone knows these are around because they are super useful. Oop, wrong screen there. So the first is CBGB's Mech tool, and this can be easily found on the CyberBrokers website. Go to Community and Community Tools, and there's a link for it right there. This has sections for you can look at your unrevealed parts. Okay, so as an example, I revealed all mine, so all I have is afterglows left. You can look at your revealed mechs, and this one takes a minute to load. So I can start seeing my different parts that way. I can see how many of single models I've completed. I can start playing with if I want to mix and match models with the parts left. All sorts of great features there. There are stats, so you can look at what's been created, what's available versus revealed, and then he's also gone, well, he or she, sorry, they have gone through and started looking at the maxes of the stats, like for each model level, what's the combination that gives you the highest total stats, individual stats for speed, power, endurance. They've started creating the Franken, they call it Frankenstat, I call it Frankenmech. Yeah, so anyhow, all sorts of amazing stuff here. They are working on a builder tool, which will allow you to visually see those Frankenmechs. So look forward to that coming out, and then all sorts of other tools. So again, CyberBrokers website, go to the community page, and under community tools, also pop in Discord. Everyone will be happy to point you to that as well.
Big shout out to CBDG.
Yes, amazing community member and amazing tools that they've been creating. I think the second one we want to talk about is Vo's Google Sheet. So this is another way. This is more primarily focused on the what do I have and what do I need based upon choices. So this is as simple as cut and paste your OpenSea parts here. So that's pretty easy to do. Just it'll only take the text and paste it here. Then it'll give you a list of exactly what parts you have, by style. Then it'll start giving you it this way, and then the most important, you come over here and you pick which goals you have. So if you have a goal of an Astra Machina, I never know how to pronounce that one.
I say Astra Machina, but I could be saying it wrong, honestly.
Yeah,
So,
Astra Machina. So let's pretend I wanted that one. I put a 1 here, and I've already got 2 parts for this particular one. And the moment I put a 1 there, now it tells me negative the parts I need to find. So it knows I already have these. So this is a really easy way to kind of look at your inventory of parts and figure out what you want and what you need to collect. I think we're going to need another version of this for the Franken-Mechs, because this is more focused on the pure styles, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could input what you want, but yeah, it's, I think, easier to see when you want a pure. Like, I want more mixed mechs, so I have to actually go in here and tweak my sheet. So later tonight, I can go in and try and pull them. So, but yeah, it's honestly so helpful. I just pasted everything in. It's super easy to use.
Yeah. So, yeah, was just getting to that. Brookhawk, where's a link to this doc? If you go into Discord and you go into the For Sale Mechs channel, it's pinned right at the top. Easy to find. So thank you, CBGB. Thank you, Vo. Amazing tools, amazing community members. I think we should probably also take a moment to shout out to our mods. Mech, Ballistic Banana 2.1, because they held things together in Discord this past week while we were all in the background doing all the other stuff. So huge thank you for that. I think we are at Q&A. Let me double check here. Yep. If people want to post questions in Discord, in YouTube, feel free to post questions and we will start answering them live. Yeah, I love this one.
It's true though.
Exactly.
We are such awesome community members. Like, literally, it's not even been a week since Mech Reveal, and like the amount of like tools and just tips and tricks people have come up with already. Like, I'm like really impressed by everyone in our community.
I love the camaraderie. That's the really cool part is, it's not often you feel like a safe space to have those conversations sometimes. And everyone's been really good about, helping others understand what they got, because it varies all over the place based upon, how pretty was nice to you.
It was pretty nice to you, yeah.
Okay, I'm looking for questions here. Oh, we need a style. Can you pull up the sheet? I saw an example styles, and we pick a name from the styles.
Oh yeah. So I thought it would be fun if anyone wants to like drop like a Franken mech or like a few different mech parts into the chat. I thought it would be fun if we could generate maybe like 1 or 2 samples of what potential names could be. Thought that could be fun.
So here's an example. The head and legs of, and again, how do you? Sometimes I can't pronounce Altair.
Again, I think I probably say everything wrong.
Yeah,
Sam is really good at pronouncing everything. I think I say a lot, Altair.
You know what you need to do? We're going to get Sam to say these, record them, and then put them on the website, and then we'll have official. This is the way you say it. Anyhow, so that head and legs and queen for the rest of the parts.
So you would get then the queen naming formula, I believe, because you have majority queen parts, so that's how it works. So let me plug that in.
Let me check and see if there's other examples we're waiting. Oh, there we go. Sam's showing us the proper pronunciation in chat.
Thank you, Sam. Okay, so with Queen Andromeda and Alater, which I will look at the wiki in a second to make sure I pronounce it right. So 3 possible names that you could get are Matriarch of Sacred Labradorite, Admiral of Resilient Sunstone, or Imperator of Royal Parasite. Parasite.
Parasites?
Parasite. If you
I like the second one.
I like the Admiral of Resilient Sunstone a lot.
Yeah.
I think that one's really, really cool. If you read like the descriptions for Alater, it's kind of based on like the chakras and like gemstones. So you're gonna get to pull a lot of like gemstone names, which are like it's not parasite, it's like type of gemstone.
Got it. Okay.
And then if you notice, so it's like Imperator of, like Matriarch of, Admiral of. So those are like, that's the formula from the Queen Andromeda. So it's kind of fun to kind of see how it pulls from both buckets. So you can get some fun mixes in there.
So I'll give one more. So let's do a Sentinel. So 3 Sentinel parts and the rest Liquidator.
Okay, so then it would be tie. So if it's tie, then it would be whichever is the style of the head would determine your formula. So do you want, what type of
Sentinel head?
Sentinel. Yep. Okay, and then Liquidator, you said, right?
Yep. Oh, and we'll do Ballistics Null Static next.
Okay. So Liquidator. Okay. Loading. So it's hard to read these because the Liquidator, it will actually generate leet speak for your name.
Oh no!
Oh, you're not gonna get. Maybe I can post them.
Yeah.
Let's see. So we have let's see, Ralph Noob Kappa is one.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
We got Skilled Alpha, and then we have, this one isn't leet speak, but Vidette Insightful Gamma. So I actually like the Liquidator. I love like the descriptions, and I love kind of the names it generates. Like it's so funny. Like I love them. So no, they won't all have 3-part names. It all depends on the formula you get. So like we said, each of the 50 styles has an individual formula. So that means there's 50 formulas.
What? Did you just give alpha?
Oh, oops. But yeah, each name formula is completely different. So imagine 50 different formulas. Each style also has a name bucket it pulls from, which has like 1 million words in it. So you're gonna mix and match basically depending on the amount of styles that you have in your mech, the formula and the name buckets it pulls from. And so like how it works is, so if you have 3 styles, so it will go by majority style, so whichever style you have the most of. And if you don't have a majority style, then it goes by part. So if you don't have a majority, then whatever your head style is, I think that's the
top down.
It goes top down. Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Can we try this one?
So head
Blade Runner. Body, leg, Liquidator, and arms, Dead Point. Ballistic, I see you in there. Your turn. Give us a full example in YouTube chat, and we'll try that one out.
Okay. So let's try this. Okay. So again, I'll paste these because it has Liquidator, so there's some leet speak, and you won't get the
leet speak in there.
So we have the Epic Disaster, which I love this. I want this now. This to be my mech name. We also have the Great Blade, which I think is really fun.
Ooh, yeah, I like that one too.
Right? Like, so the blade is obviously coming from
The Blade Runner.
Blade Runner, and then the Great is coming from the Liquidator. And then we have this one, which is the Cool Knife.
That's awesome.
Disaster, if I have to pick. I kind of want that now. I think that's so funny. I love
Yeah.
that.
You know what the really tough part's going to be? If
Mm.
you see one and
Yeah.
you're like kind of on the fence, but then you lose it. What I mean, once you go past it, you can't get back to that one again, right?
It's not guaranteed. So yeah, basically, I think Sam mentioned it earlier in the chat, but you'll get 3 names in front of you, but you'll get to re-roll as many times as you want. But again, you don't know if you re-roll, like, you don't know if you'll ever get to come back to that name, or if someone will take it before like you get to. So that's gonna be, I'm so big on names, like as someone who's into like the lore and like writing, like I love names. So I think that's honestly gonna be the hardest part for me.
So let me answer this one. What happens to name when you break up Mech? Will it come around again? Um, and I think we need to give a more formal response to this based upon a couple things in the background. But the general idea is once a name is picked, it's gone. You know, you can't, it won't show up again in the inventory. So if you break it apart, that's kind of the one gotcha, is you have to repick a name. Now, we need to 100% clarify that, but that's the current understanding.
Yeah.
So there's certainly positives to breaking up and reassembling your mech, but there could be some negatives too.
Mm-hmm.
Some choices.
If you're attached to your name, you might want to think for a second, essentially. But
exactly. Okay. I think we hit our list. We talked about names. We looked at the Twitter post and enforcers. And we looked at the tools. Any other questions people have before we sign off for the night or day? TikTok? Okay. Thank you for bearing with us on our first Paradigm Live. It was a little wordy. The next ones will not be. We'll spend more time to be able to, you know, have guests and more live Q&A. And I think now that we do this once a week, same time, people will start kind of getting into their schedule. I see a couple questions, but I'm not ready to answer those yet. So we're going to ignore those for now.
We'll go and get approvals before next week.
Yes. We'll see if we can get, yeah, exactly.
We can only do so much alpha.
Yeah, we gave enough alpha today already.
Yeah.
This was awesome. I'm so excited. Thank you for making the time. I know you're very busy with the marketing side of things. So I appreciate you taking an hour and helping talk to the community. I'm sure they're loving it as well.
I'm excited about this. I think this was an awesome idea by Mike, and I think we're just excited to like just chat with people and have like a time each week to like connect with the community, go over things. So like if you feel like you missed some things, you can just tune in. We'll kind of catch you up quickly. We can go back and forth. So I think this will be a fun time, like, you know, community just going back and forth.
Yes, and we've been struggling a little bit between, you know, Twitter Spaces, which doesn't have visuals, and Discord, where not everyone, you know, joins. Yeah. So this is a great way to have it streaming on both YouTube and Twitter. Visuals, you know, because a lot of the stuff, until we start pointing, and it's really hard to describe it without those visuals, right?
Yeah, so much. I mean, obviously, like, if you know Josie, who's our CEO and founder, she's like an original OG crypto artist. So like, so much of CyberBrokers is so visual because like we want to make sure every piece of art we put out is like epic. So like you kind of lose some of like the magic of CyberBrokers when you can't see it in person. So I love this, that we can show whatever we want to show. We can stream it on YouTube and Twitter. I'm excited to chat with everyone. And again, we can kind of make this what people want to hear and talk about too.
Exactly.
Like I was saying too, get some like community members up. Like if you want to chat, this is for us to all connect together. So
exactly. So got suggestions? Pop them in Discord. This is a community show, so if you want to see different things, let us know. I think we're ready to end, and we have a great one to end with. CEO, founder, queen of the metaverse, Josie, says subscribe. So subscribe to the YouTube channel. After you subscribe, you need to change the status to all. Otherwise, you won't get notifications of live events like this. And then if you like what we're doing, give us a thumbs up.
yeah.
See you all on Discord and Twitter.
Bye, everyone.